Hi guys, Ryan your pharmacist here. So my daughter has a bit of eczema at the moment, so I thought I'd share with you guys a couple of tips that I've been using to try and get her eczema under control. So for me, eczema and dermatitis is pretty much the same thing. They are that dry, itchy, scaly, rough skin that often gets really inflamed and sore. And so for me, you really have to try and get in front of it, and it's all about prevention and management. So here's a couple of tips that I use. So tip number 1, use a cream cleanser or some other sort of soap substitute. I don't think anybody should really be using soaps anymore. They're just way too drying on the skin, and once you change, you'll never go back, promise. It changed my life. So tip number 2, try shorter, cooler showers and baths. I know the kids love being in there, and I know it even feels better on their skin while they're in there sometimes, but trust me, you will pay for it later. Tip number 3, try and be kind to them. Let's use a softer towel and just try to pat them dry rather than rub. This also goes for clothes as well. Finding some nice soft clothes with natural fibres. So wools and synthetics, just get rid of them. They're causing too much heat and irritation to the skin. Tip number 4, which is the one most people struggle with, is moisturising. It's really hard to be as consistent as you need to be, especially if your child's got really rough, dry skin. And you know, we just really need to make this a habit. So I'd recommend having multiple bottles around the house. Really important that you've got it in the bathroom, so as soon as we've toweled them off, we can moisturize them heavily. And then, you know, all those multiple bottles are just so when you're having to chase them around. I know it's not easy at all. I've got a 2.5-year-old and she thinks it's better to have lizard skin, but not on my watch, Sophie. So with the creams, well, not even just creams, you've got creams, ointments, lotions, oils, emollients, bath bombs now. There's a million different options, a million different brands, lots of formulations. So it's, you know, go in and find a good pharmacy. Go in and talk to the pharmacist or the staff there if they're well trained, and let them help you navigate and where to start with and how long to go on with these treatments and how to change and what would best suit your child or you. So yeah, anyway, if anybody's got any really good tips on how to get a 2.5-year-old to love putting cream on, please let me know. I'm all ears. So number 5, house heating. So we've got split systems in our house, and if we'd known they are just so drying on the skin, we've really stopped using them in winter, and we went and got the kids a couple of oil column heaters. So that radiant heat is a lot better and less drying. Humidifiers in their room as well, or just you know, using more jumpers and things like that rather than having heating, having the heating on. So tip number 6, a couple of other little things, maybe dietary, making sure that you've got some good zinc levels. It helps with skin health as well as increasing fatty acids. So that's things like fish oil as well, that can be beneficial. It just helps get those natural oils back into the skin. So for that self-moisturizing. For those with babies on the way, if you've got eczema or running in your family, then there's been some nice promising research on specific strains of probiotics, which if given to mums in their 3rd trimester and then once the baby comes as well while they're breastfeeding, it seems to reduce the rates of eczema by 50%. So if that sounds like something you'd like to talk about, then come in and see Nikki, our naturopath, and she can help you out with those. But you know, I know that sometimes the eczema can get out of control, and so it's always good in those cases to come in and talk to a pharmacist and let them assess it. We may need to use a mild steroid, and if it's more serious than that, then we're definitely going to refer you off to a good GP for some of the stronger stuff. So lastly, we're moving into hay fever season now, and usually people with eczema do tend to suffer from asthma as well as allergies. So as we're getting more sun and pollen, it's really important to try and keep that skin moisturized so it's less reactive, as well as just making sure that the asthma and allergies are under control, because if you start early with those as well, much better response. So anyway, please share, please write a comment. If you've got any suggestions, is there anything you want me to talk about next, please just add that down as well, and I'll see what I can do. But until next time, I'll see you in the pharmacy. Catch you later.